Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Really excited for today's one.
Me too.
We're getting into one of the season's, well, most anticipated clashes already. Liverpool versus Arsenal. It's happening at Anfield this Sunday, August 31st, 2025.
Yeah, massive game.
And look, this is way more than just 3 points, right?
Yeah.
It feels like a really pivotal moment in the title race, even this early. It's got critical injuries, evolving tactics, loads of drama.
Definitely.
So, our mission today is pretty simple.
Yeah.
Cut through all that noise and give you a sharp, insightful look at exactly what you need to watch for.
And what makes this one particularly juicy is its immediate significance. It's a proper litmus test, isn't it, for Arsenal's depth, especially under pressure, and for Liverpool's adaptability under the new manager.
That's a great way to put it, a litmus test.
Yeah, the result here, it's absolutely going to set an early tone for their title hopes. You'll feel the ripples across the league, I think.
Absolutely. It's not just a game, it's a real tactical chess match. Okay, let's unpack this. Let's get into the crucial details you need before kickoff.
Right. Well, we have to start with the injury report, don't we? And Arsenal, they're facing some pretty major challenges.
Yeah. What's the situation?
Well, first off, Kai Havertz is confirmed out. That's a significant chunk of their creative midfield just gone.
Oh, that's big.
And it gets worse. Bukayo Saka, their, electric winger, he's doubtful. His participation is really hanging by a thread.
Wow. Okay. And Ødegaard. Heard whispers about him too.
Yeah, the captain, Martin Ødegaard, he's carrying a shoulder knock. Might play, but it could definitely limit his influence, his playmaking.
So Havertz, Saka potentially, Ødegaard potentially limited. That's a brutal blow. That's almost their entire creative core, isn't it?
Pretty much. These are the guys who unlock defenses, provide that spark in the final third.
Their absence forces Arteta into some high-stakes tactical improvisation, especially against a team like Liverpool at Anfield. How do they break them down now?
Exactly. It's not just losing players. It forces a rethink of their attacking identity, maybe. They'll need to show some real immediate adaptability. It's a huge test.
But, every challenge like this can sometimes open an unexpected door. And for Arsenal, maybe that door is Ebreki.
Ah, the potential debutant.
Yeah. He could be making his debut in this exact fixture. What kind of impact could he realistically have? Is his direct dribbling and dynamism a game changer? Or maybe it's a risk. Liverpool won't have scouted him much in this specific Arsenal setup.
That's the interesting part. Everrise offers something different, doesn't he? Less about the intricate link-up play we maybe associate with Ødegaard or Havertz, and more about carrying the ball directly, that unpredictability.
Right.
So his involvement could mean Arsenal shift towards relying more on moments of individual brilliance. It is a gamble, though, a calculated one. He could provide that needed spark, or, he could struggle with the sheer intensity of an Anfield debut.
Yeah, thrown right into the deep end. Okay, let's flip it then, because Liverpool aren't exactly coming into this unscathed either, are they?
No, not at all.
They're dealing with what we've started calling the right-back chaos.
Hey, yeah, that sums it up. Frimpong is definitely out injured. That's a loss, both defensively and for his attacking overlaps.
Big loss. And Connor Bradley, who'd be the natural cover.
He's only just returned to training. It seems very unlikely he'd be match sharp enough for a game of this intensity, this magnitude.
So that puts Joe Gomez squarely in the frame, right?
Yeah.
As the likely fill-in at right back.
Exactly. Gomez is the man likely stepping in. And while he's a very capable defender, let's be clear, he's a center back playing out of position.
Fundamentally, yeah.
And against Arsenal's fluid attack, that potentially exposes a vulnerability. His natural instinct will probably be to tuck in, be a bit more conservative positionally.
Which could limit Liverpool's width on that side.
It could, yeah. And it might leave him a bit susceptible to Arsenal's wide players making runs off him or trying to create 2v1s.
And you can absolutely bet Mikel Arteta and Arsenal will look to target that flank aggressively.
With overlap.
Oh, for sure. That side of Liverpool's defense will be highlighted in bright red on Arteta's tactics board, you'd imagine.
Yeah.
They'll push players like Martinelli forward, maybe Zinchenko too, to create those overloads, look to exploit any unfamiliarity Gomez has in that specific role. It's an obvious strategic opportunity for them.
Absolutely. It's classic football tactics, isn't it? Identify a perceived weakness and hit it early, hit it often. That specific battleground down Liverpool's right and Arsenal's left, that's going to be critical right from the first whistle.
It really is. Fascinating stuff.
It's always fascinating how teams, constantly have to make these strategic moves, adapt to these challenges, often pivoting really rapidly under pressure.
Yeah, reacting on the fly.
And speaking of making smart, strategic decisions in life.
Ah, nice one. Yes, football demands sharp strategic moves. And, well, so does finding the right place to live, right? Especially when it comes to property, which is why we should mention Ramsden Real Estate.
Exactly. If you're looking for property, they really offer the full package. Premium properties, smart investments, and importantly, trustworthy deals. They aim to simplify what can often feel like a really complex process.
Whether it's, say, your very first flat, or you're upgrading your lifestyle, or even building an investment portfolio.
They cater to all those needs. Really broad appeal.
So for your next strategic move in the property world, whether you are upgrading or investing, check them out. It's ramsdenrealestate.com, or you can visit their offices right here in Addis Ababa. Ramsden Real Estate, where your new chapter begins.
Good stuff.
All right, let's get back to the action at Anfield. So with these crucial absences, these uncertainties on both sides, the big question becomes, how will Arne Slot and Mikel Arteta actually adapt their tactical blueprints on the pitch?
Yeah, how do they actually set up?
Let's try and unpack the tactical setups then. Starting with Liverpool, under Arne Slot. Now, their identity, it's always involved aggressive pressing, hasn't it? But under Slot, we seem to be seeing a bit of an evolution.
How?
Well, that press is still there, absolutely. But it seems to be combined now with much sharper width. They really want to stretch the field, create those channels, but maybe with a slightly more calculated approach than just, throwing bodies forward wildly.
Okay, interesting. So on Liverpool's right side, what does that look like specifically?
Well, you'd expect Dominic Szoboszlai to drift quite wide over there. He'll be looking for those little combinations with Mo Salah.
Right, not just simple overlaps.
Exactly. It's more of a fluid movement,
Yeah.
designed to pull defenders out of shape, maybe create central space, or just give Salah that half yard he needs to cut inside.
And critically, with Joe Gomez likely at right back.
Yeah, he'll probably anchor a bit deeper, won't he? Prioritize that defensive stability over bombing forward. It feels like a pragmatic adjustment, maybe limiting their attacking threat from that flank slightly, but guarding against those Arsenal counters down his side.
Makes sense. A necessary compromise, perhaps.
And then, Liverpool's left side that promises a totally different kind of assault, I think. They'll likely try to flood that wing. Think Luis Diaz and Andy Robertson.
The high-energy duo.
Yeah, designed to overwhelm, really stretch Arsenal's backline to its absolute limit, create gaps, and generate those dangerous cutbacks into the penalty area. Diaz's directness, combined with Robertson's just relentless overlapping runs.
Yeah.
That's a really potent threat.
It is. Okay, so pivoting to Arsenal's tactical response then, especially considering those injury worries we talked about.
Yeah, how do they counter?
Well, if Saka is unavailable, which looks possible, we'll likely see either Eberechi Eze if he debuts, or maybe Leandro Trossard moving into that crucial right half space.
That channel between the center back and fullback.
Exactly, that dangerous pocket of space. Trossard offers, technical precision, good link-up play. Eze, as we discussed, brings that direct dribbling, that flair. Their presence there is all about trying to maintain creativity, find ways to unlock the Liverpool defense through tight passing, or maybe just a moment of individual magic.
And we absolutely cannot overlook Victor Gyökeres for Arsenal up top.
No, he's key.
He's not just a static number 9, is he? He
Yeah.
makes these really dynamic runs into the channels, constantly pulling defenders out of position, creating space for others.
And his pressing.
Crucially, yes, his aggressive pressing right from the front is so important for how Arsenal play. He'll be harrying Liverpool's defenders, their midfielders when they drop deep, trying to force mistakes high up the pitch. That intensity, that defensive pressure he brings, it will undoubtedly disrupt Liverpool's attempts to build from the back.
Gyökeres' work rate is immense. It really sets the tone for their entire press. And look, there's another potential layer to Arsenal's strategy, especially if Ben White is maybe limited or they want more control.
What's that?
We could see either Alexander Zinchenko or maybe Jurrien Timber, if he plays, inverting from that left-back position.
Stepping into midfield when Arsenal have the ball.
Precisely. And this isn't just about filling a spot, it's a deliberate strategic move. It gives Arsenal more bodies, more presence in central midfield, helps them gain control there.
So effectively adding an extra midfielder.
Yeah. The aim is clear. Win those crucial central duels, recycle possession efficiently, and try to dictate the tempo of the game. It's a direct counter to Liverpool trying to play wide or press high. Control the center.
Okay, fascinating tactical adjustments on both sides, potentially. We've covered the personnel, the injuries, the likely tactical blueprints. But look, when the whistle blows, when the game actually starts, what are the specific moments, the head-to-head clashes, Where is this game going to be truly decided?
Yeah. Where are the make or break points?
What are, say, the 3 key battles that you think will decide this game?
Right. It's about dissecting where the advantage might swing. Which specific matchups should we really be glued to? Watching every pass, every tackle to understand the flow and ultimately the outcome of this massive encounter.
Okay, our first crucial matchup, and it's one we've touched on already, has to be Liverpool's likely makeshift right back, Joe Gomez, going up against Arsenal's potent left-sided combinations.
Yeah, Gomez versus Martinelli, potentially.
Exactly. We're talking about the dynamic Gabriel Martinelli, maybe with Alexander Zinchenko supporting him from behind or drifting inside. If Martinelli, with his raw pace and directness, gets the better of Gomez, especially if Zinchenko's intricate passing helps overload that area, Arsenal will create serious goal-scoring chances.
Gomez will be under immense pressure. Any slight hesitation, any positional error could be ruthlessly punished.
Definitely. High stakes there.
Okay, second key battle.
For me, it's the midfield second ball fights. It sounds basic, but it's so fundamental.
Little scrappy moments.
Yeah, those frantic scrambles after a header, a clearance, or a loose pass. They might not look glorious, but winning them is foundational to controlling possession and momentum.
So who are the key players there? Well, if Alexis McAllister starts for Liverpool and manages to dictate the rhythm, hoovering up those second balls, Liverpool gain control. They can sustain attacks. However, if Arsenal's midfield anchors, Declan Rice and probably Thomas Partey, if fit, win these crucial duels.
They can break up Liverpool's flow.
Exactly. They disrupt Liverpool's buildup and can launch really swift, dangerous counterattacks from those turnovers. It's essentially a war of attrition for central dominance. Who controls that messy middle?
Fascinating. Okay, and the third, vital confrontation.
It centers on Arsenal's main striker, Victor Gyökeres versus Liverpool's center backs, likely Van Dijk and maybe Konate or Kwanzaa.
It's not just about whether Gyökeres scores himself.
No, it's more tactical than that. It's a really interesting chess match. If Gyökeres can successfully pin one of Liverpool's center backs, basically occupy them, keep them busy, stop them from stepping out or tracking other runners.
It opens up lanes.
Precisely. It creates those crucial running lanes, those pockets of space between the lines. That's the space that other Arsenal attackers, maybe a drifting Martinelli or even a debuting Eze making a run from deep, can exploit to get in behind or receive the ball in dangerous areas.
So his movement is key to creating opportunities for others.
Absolutely. It's not just about his own threat. It's about his intelligent movement disrupting the defensive structure and enabling his teammates.
Wow. Those 3 matchups, Gomez versus the left, the second ball battle, and Gyökeres versus the CBs, they really do feel like they could define the entire game.
They encapsulate the tactical nuances and the individual duels that are going to be so important. The outcome of each little micro battle will inevitably shape the bigger story of the match.
Right. So after all that, all the in-depth analysis, the tactical breakdowns, the injury news, those key matchups,
Right.
it kind of all boils down to this, doesn't it? Predictions.
The crystal ball moment.
We laid out all the pieces on the board. Now let's take a guess at how it might look at the final whistle. What are you thinking?
Look, given all these moving parts we've discussed, the key injuries on both sides, the tactical adjustments they'll have to make, I'm actually leaning towards a 1-1 draw.
Okay, a stalemate. Why?
There are just, I feel, too many uncertainties, too many key players potentially missing or playing out of position. It suggests a really tightly contested game where neither side quite manages to, seize full control or land that killer blow. It feels like they might just cancel each other out in the crucial moments.
Interesting. I appreciate the caution. I really do. But I'm going to go for Liverpool. I'm thinking 2-1 to Liverpool.
The Anfield factor.
I think so. That home advantage, that electric atmosphere, I just feel it might give them that tiny extra push, that marginal edge they need to squeeze out a win, especially in a tight game.
Mm-hmm.
If they can leverage that sharper width we talked about under Slot, and if the crowd gets behind them like they always do, that can make the difference.
Fair enough. Could definitely happen. But look, whatever the actual scoreline turns out to be, one thing feels absolutely certain.
What?
You, the listener, you are set for a proper tactical thriller. This will not be a boring 90 minutes. It's going to be high stakes, high intensity, tactically fascinating from start to finish.
Couldn't agree more. What an exploration that was.
Yeah.
We've really tried to peel back the layers today, look at those crucial injuries impacting both Liverpool and Arsenal, delved into the nuanced tactical approaches Arne Slot and Mikel Arteta might employ, and pinpointed those specific player battles that will likely be decisive come Sunday. Hopefully you feel equipped now with that insider's view.
Absolutely. And maybe if we connect this all back to the bigger picture, thinking about all these moving parts we've discussed, the injuries, the tactical shifts, those key individual duels, here's a final thought for you to ponder. What lesser-known player, perhaps, or maybe a subtle tactical adjustment that we haven't focused on as much, do you think could unexpectedly tip the scales in this really high-stakes encounter?
Ooh, good question. Something under the radar. Exactly. We really encourage you to keep exploring, keep looking for those layers beneath the surface of the game. That's where the really deep understanding lies, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into what promises to be an absolutely epic clash. Until next time, keep thinking critically and enjoy the beautiful game.